guns and hammer skins. You wear my nuts on your Nazi chins. I look good in uniform.
Hello, and welcome to my ongoing educational series about the nature of fascism, created with the goal of helping people better oppose fascism. Today's episode is part 6, The Growth of Empire. Hi, my name is Dr. Edward Avery-Natale. I'm a professor of sociology. In several of the earlier episodes of this series, I mentioned that the nation-state is fundamentally a religion to the fascist. It is the nation, not the individual or the citizen, that is important to the fascist, as is indicated by this quote on your screen from Mussolini. Because fascism makes the state itself, not the individual or the citizen, the primary focus of moral and political life, the state thus must expand through the growth of empire. Ultimately, fascism is inherently linked to the growth of empire, as the ideology often promotes aggressive expansionism, territorial acquisition, and a strong sense of national superiority. This leads fascist regimes to actively seek to build and expand their empires through military conquest and colonization. This was obviously seen during the Nazi era by Germany, but also during the fascist era in Italy, both during World War II. Now, why would fascists emphasize empire building so strongly? First, you have to consider the role of nationalistic fervor in the construction of fascist ideology. There is a strong emphasis on national pride and the supremacy of a given nation. This is not just patriotism. Patriotism is the love of nation, the loyalty to nation. Nationalism is the superiority of nation. It is the inherent belief that your country is better than others. This belief in national superiority tends to lead to the idea that the nation, the superior nation, needs to dominate all other nations. Furthermore, fascists believe strongly in militarism. In an earlier video, I emphasized that violence is central to fascism. The violence of war is one part of this importance of violence to the fascist. Fascists tend to believe that war is a struggle for the nation itself. Hitler's ideology was especially bound up with this idea, as he claimed that Jews had escaped the supposedly glorious sacrifice for the nation in World War I and would not escape that sacrifice again. A claim that was, of course, a lie. Jews had, in fact, fought and died in World War I. Hitler believed that such sacrifices in war and such acts of violence built the nation. Hitler and fascists broadly believed that blood can rebirth a nation in decline. For Hitler, Mussolini, and other fascists, the nation itself is a spiritual entity, and that spirit is embodied in the charismatic leader. Thus, the leader becomes the nation itself, and the nation embodied in the leader will be reborn through blood. The people will thus be sent on a violent nationalistic quest for the supposed good of the nation. Ultimately, if the state and the nation are so important, then those who are not a part of the state must be inferior, an enemy, and they must be kept at bay. This brings us back to the role of the other mentioned in an earlier video. Thus, the nation will expand. Internally, the fascists will attempt to eradicate the other from the nation's borders. However, you must remember that the fascist needs an other. He or she needs an enemy. Without an enemy, the people have nothing to fear, and thus no reason to give up their freedom to the fascist. Thus, the fascist must find new enemies abroad. The fascist will then attempt to go to war, conquering these others overseas. This ensures both the ongoing existence of an enemy, as well as, in victory, the representation of the nation's superiority over others. So, we should not be surprised when we see Donald Trump claiming that he will retake the Panama Canal or will take control of Greenland one way or the other, or even when he claims that he will make Canada the 51st state. And we certainly shouldn't be surprised that Trump is claiming he will take control of Gaza, even sharing this bizarre video generated by AI in which Trump shows his vision for Gaza. Or, as Trump calls it in his infinite narcissism, Trump Gaza.
A shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, #1.
We do not yet know which of these imperialistic endeavors Trump will actually be able to successfully engage in. However, Trump is a fascist, and like any fascist, we should not be surprised that he is seeking to expand empire through the possibility of violence.